Guy Merritt wrote a long email, and I appreciate the length of it. And I'll read it because a lot of it sums up what I was intending to mention in the follow-up to the video, Did Amelia Earhart End Up on Saipan? So Guy writes, it was refreshing to find your channel in this video. I was surprised that you failed to mention Earhart's Electra, the Lockheed Electra, a very compelling documentary in which numerous U.S. servicemen, all near the end of their lives, swear that they discovered both Earhart's plane and her personal documents on Saipan when it was liberated. These are people who would have absolutely no incentive to make up some sort of crazy story having to do with Earhart. It is almost inconceivable that these servicemen and many islanders are lying or simply mistaken to such an astonishing degree. I saw a short news blurb years ago on YouTube, which has since disappeared. It was from a San Diego TV station, and the gentleman said that his father had told him he'd been part of a small crew which installed a very high-tech spy camera on Earhart's plane. I don't think there's any question that she did a forced landing near Mili Atoll and then ended up on Saipan. The eyewitness testimony is just crazy. I think the fact that Japan is a strategic partner of the U.S. and the fact that Earhart was put at risk spying for the U.S. have contributed to the truth being covered up by both governments and the media. Good luck with your tour business. So, Guy, yes, you've covered a lot of things that I mentioned during my tours, because when I do my tours, that does come up. A lot of people are not aware of the Saipan-Amelia Earhart connection. So when I bring it to their attention, some of the questions that they pose end up having me share some of what you've shared. And one of the main things that I talk about is that it's inconceivable, as you said, that in the middle of 1937, in the middle of Japanese-controlled Saipan, that locals, islanders, would just get up one day in 1937 and start making up a story about a Caucasian woman and man, woman in short hair, dressed like a man in pants and, leather jacket, that would just suddenly make up a story with no incentive, no knowledge of who Amelia Earhart is at that time, more than likely. So a lot of people are quick to discount those accounts, but I find them very plausible, very believable that, and again, the question you have to ask is, why would servicemen who have nothing to gain, except maybe a few minutes of notoriety, why would islanders who have no knowledge of Amelia Earhart just suddenly get up and start making these stories up? So I'm not one of those people who will discount those stories. I put a lot of value in them. And even though we have not found any concrete, hard physical evidence of her presence here, then it is still my conviction that she was in fact here. And if you recall, years ago there was a television program, a series called In Search Of, featuring Leonard Nimoy, and you can find that on the internet as well, on YouTube, and you'll see that their investigation brought them to Saipan as well. So I say that, and just as a caveat, I am not an Earhart aficionado or a theory buff or researcher, but just what I've been exposed to here on Saipan in the course of doing tours and just living here has convinced me that there is more to the story than people have been told and have been led to believe. So it's a very interesting aspect of the tours that I do here on Saipan, and I'll leave some of the information for those of you who are adventurous enough to come out here and take the tour. There are certain places I can show you and talk about that have to do with Amelia's presence here on Saipan. But thanks again for that, Guy, and I will see you guys in the next video. If you have any other questions, please feel free to leave them below.
Subscribe.
You know what a man say.